How are y'all doing? So I just have to say thank you for coming out so early. It's a testament to the power of candy samples that you're all here. So a big hand for Candy to start off, please. So grab a drink, grab a seat. You're in for a very special show this year. We've changed things up a little bit, and I have had Candy do something a little special this year. So you're, as I said, you're in for a treat. But before we start with that, I just want to talk about some milestones this year. And hopefully I can get through this. As you may know, New Orleans is celebrating its 300th anniversary, something very special. Decadent Ducks, 21st year. And Candy Samples, 10th show. So when we started this, we never thought it would get this big. We never thought that this would turn into such a big fundraising thing. We never thought that it would get as big as all this. And we are so happy that it has. Because actually, I think this has inspired Candy to do some really incredible stuff. And I just want to mention some of the things that she's done. Candy has really become a real fundraising powerhouse. And I know she may have mentioned it in past years, but I just want to talk about it again. Because over the past 7 years, Candy has been able to raise, for the GMHC AIDS Walk, over $200,000. And over the past 5 years for the Breaking AIDS ride, $20,000. And this is a really special year for us because this year we are topping $100,000 that we've donated to Food for Friends. And last night at dinner, having dinner with Glenn and Noel, and you'll hear from Noel a little bit later. Noel asked, he's going to talk about the new health center that they're building, and he mentioned that for $1 million I could get my name on the building. So get out your pocketbooks. But he mentioned for a little bit smaller donation that you could get your name on a treatment room and get a treatment room dedicated to you. And he asked me if I would allow him to put the Decadent Ducks name on a treatment room. He asked if I would allow him to do that. And I said, allow? I would be so honored. But it's not me. It's you. It's all of you that have made this happen. So of course I said, yes, I'm truly honored. And I hope that we can actually, he asked if we could take a tour of this new facility next year, and we're going to see what we can do to make that happen, because seeing how your dollars actually work in this community, I think is really, really important. So hopefully next year we can make that happen. But you need to understand how important these dollars are in this community, and I'll let Noel talk more about that. But your contributions are really important in New Orleans. So far this year, before I walked in the door today, we've already raised $10,475. So we're well on our way to raising an incredible amount this year. And I know Candy's going to encourage you to dig deep, and I encourage you to do that too. Candy's got a great show for you. But before we get to that, I thought for Candy's 10th year anniversary that it would be interesting to learn a little bit more about Candy and what created this fundraising powerhouse. Where did Candy come from? So we've combed the archives. We went back to the 8mm films, the VHS tapes, the Betamax, and we've created a little pre-show for you. And we finally can answer the question, who is Candy Samples and how did she develop into the Queen of the Bears? So with that, I'm going to let the guys start the show for you. So thank you for coming. I appreciate everything that you do for us. I hope you've had a great weekend. I hope you enjoy the show. Thank you.
Who is Candy Samples?
Well, Candy Samples was birthed in 1995, the summer of 1995, in the Miss Pool Slut Pageant. And this was in Atlanta, Georgia. I was a 19-year-old theater student about to transfer to Emerson College.
Oh, we're on GMHC. Gay people time, homies. Is that a CPT? What do you look?
I'd never done drag before, but I said, sure, why not? Because wigs. I'd done a lot of theater and I'd love to play dress up, so I figured, give it a shot. They gave me my name, Candy Samples, and my title, Miss Hershey Kisses. And I had 3 categories that I needed to participate in. We all had evening wear, swimwear, and talent. And then at the end, they brought us all up to the stage.
And the winner of the 1995 Miss Pool Slut contest is Miss Candy Samples, Miss Hershey Kisses!
Miss Pool Slut 1995. I was floored. I pulled my best Sally Field in Soap Dish. Very Celeste. Well, after the Miss Pool Slut pageant, I was getting ready to travel to Emerson, where I was transferring to study theater. And when I got to Emerson, I met some really cool people. And these 2 guys in particular that had all started doing drag about the same time that I started.
I'm Will Carroll, and I'm about to get into drag. And this is something I've been doing, I guess, about a year now. My big thing is, like I said, I do the camp, so I'm using a really light face, and I do more of that Norma Desmond and Sunset Boulevard. This is my wig. I call it Ginger, because it kind of looks like Ginger on Gilligan's Island. This is the wig I wore. I wore this with my evening wear dress and the Miss Pool Slut pageant.
In September of 2000, I moved to New York City. I did something really stupid. I retired Candy. I said, I'm gonna be an actor. I want the man parts. I want to wear pants. Immediately, I was cast as the Popeye heroine, Olive Oil, in a production called Oil.
I've always been frightened by the solidity of a Big Mac, to tell you the truth. The way a man's big hands can seem as they're made of stone, instead of blood and bones. Regarding phones and food, what do you call a mouthful of chocolate and phone sex? Sweet nothings in your ear!
So when the owner of Albatross came around and said, we're looking for someone to host karaoke, would you be interested? Well, I looked at my friend Michael, who also is chic, and I said, let's do it, but let's host together and do it in drag. because we'd done it for years, so let's bring back Candy. So Candy and Chic became the Friday night karaoke hostesses at Albatross Bar. Living in New York and trying to come up with work for ourselves. We're trying to launch a theater company. We got on a cable show, a makeover story, as drag queens that needed help with their boy looks.
Michael and Will are successful drag performers in New York City. During the day, they're struggling playwrights and actors.
That's the best part about being an actor, is that you can try on different looks and you can kind of play.
So when it comes to fashion, all of their time and money goes towards drag costumes.
Oh, yeah. But it's better to be a drag queen because you can really go out there.
Totally.
Wear the glitter, do Liberace.
And their boy fashion, it suffers. I'm gonna polish them up so they can get financial backing for their new theater company.
I'm not looking to butch it up, but I'm looking to clean up the look.
Will, come on down.
Hey, girls.
Michael, come on out.
Oh my gosh. Look at you. Look at look at you. Look at you. Turn around. So wanky. What do you
Now,
think
where
of
did
the
this
hair?
show go? It went nowhere. But we were able to workshop stuff. During this time, I'm acting, and I'm trying to get out there, and I'm still trying to wear the pants. I actually got an opportunity to go to Los Angeles and work out there for a little while, get out of New York City, and I did some extra work, and I was so excited because I was wearing pants. I was on Crossing Jordan.
Man, Jordan, you look fantastic. Is that what being single looks like? Kitty, what are you guys doing here? Well, since you've been avoiding us, we figured we'd track you down. That's right.
And judging Amy.
How am I doing so far?
Oh, Judge Gray, not evaluating, perished the thought.
I was always writing music. I had written music when I was a teenager. I mean, this was something I'd just always done.
I'm tired of sitting here all by myself. I've gotta know, where does it stand? We can't go on like this. Love's not a game. Baby, enough is enough. Baby, gimme. Baby, gimme your love. It's getting old, these stories that you told. I need to know, is our love so old? Do you want me to go? No, I don't think so. Baby, stop treating me this love. Baby, give me all your love.
I took years off to do theater, but then Oil the Musical happened, and I was like, songwriting is gonna be my thing. I mean, as a teenager, I loved Debbie Gibson. That's my homegirl, love her. And loved Lost in Your Eyes, loved Electric Youth. I loved all of it. Anything is Possible. Have you heard of that album? Because no one bought it. At this time, I was like, let me bring music back. Candy's gonna be a singer-songwriter. Before I was a karaoke hostess, or before I was a cabaret girl. But this time, Candy was gonna be a singer-songwriter. So I started with an EP.
Gotta get it. Yeah. Throw on my fur and give my hair one last spray. Glance in the mirror and I'm on my way. Step to the street, the first thing I see, a strapping tall boy waiting for me. Paying no mind, he's not the right fit. Give a wink and a smile, it never hurts to flirt a little bit. In the city streets, the suitors call. Girl, take your pick and have a ball. Uptown, downtown, black, white, all boy crazy. So many men, so little time.
We met some people from Marriage Equality New York. And Kathy Marino Thomas was the executive director at the time. We marched in wedding dresses and heels in the Pride March in New York City with Marriage Equality New York. And we learned how to be activists.
We are the Gender Offenders. My name is Sassy.
I'm Candy Samples.
And I'm Chic. And we have a new show coming up called Brides Gone Wild.
Inspired by marriage equality.
We did it all for you.
Amazing experience I will never forget. Also at this time, I'm going to Decadence. Southern Decadence, my first one, was in 2003. And I had heard about it from some friends. When I moved to New York, they moved to New Orleans. And they had talked about Southern Decadence, especially. And these are straight people. And they said, there's this great party, it's better than Mardi Gras. They were like, you need to come down. The guys are hot. And my best friend Lori said, there's some hot daddies there. So in 2003, you know, I got myself here. I got to New Orleans, but I was shy. I was real shy. I was couch surfing with my friends that lived in the quarter. So I would go to Cat's Meow, where my friend Spencer and his girlfriend Beverly worked. And I would drink all the free booze I could, and then get up the nerve to travel down St. Anne, but not before singing a lot of karaoke. Badly.
I would like to take this to Beverly. She's in the back bar along with Lori and Marissa. Go say hi if you know them. Ow! I saw him dancing there by the record machine. I knew he might have been about 17, but I didn't care. The beat was going strong, playing my favorite song, and I could tell it wouldn't be long till he was with me, yeah, me. And I could tell it wouldn't be long till he was with me, yeah, me. She said, I love rock and roll, so put another time in the jukebox, baby. I love rock and roll, so come and take your time and dance with me. Ow!
Well, eventually, I went down St. Anne and crossed St. Anne and started hanging out with fellas and loving Decadence, loving the people. It was wonderful. And then Katrina happened.
Underwater, here in New Orleans tonight, after the giant storm came the rising waters. Over 80% of the city is flooded.
All my friends were displaced. And I was like, what am I going to do? Well, I found Troy and I found the Ducks from a little chat in Bear 411. Bear 411. Remember that? Bear 411. Say that 3 times fast. But I found Troy. He talked about a group and he said, we have pool parties. And I was like, this will be perfect. I don't have a place to stay. I need to meet some people. So I started staying with the Ducks. But again, I was a bit shy. So I did what any shy person does. I sign up to volunteer. Is that your ring?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, Troy's phone quacks. It doesn't ring. Friday night welcome party was a pool party. The first year I was with the Ducks. We were a small group, but we were a fun bunch. So in 2007 at Decadence, there's this political scandal that has erupted. That weekend, all over the news, the Larry Craig scandal broke. And everybody is talking about it. Everybody is talking about seeing it in the news, in their rooms, at their hotels.
A spokesman for Senator Larry Craig is calling the incident a he said misunderstanding. Now, according to Roll Call newspaper, Craig was arrested during an undercover police sting. Officers were investigating complaints of sexual activity in an airport bathroom. The newspaper is reporting an undercover officer was sitting in a stall when Senator Craig started peeking through a crack in the door before he took the stall next to the officer. According to a police report, Roll Call reports Craig used his bag to block the door of the stall and then tapped his foot repeatedly before sliding his foot underneath the partition to touch the officer's foot. The officer in the report said this is a common signal among men looking to engage in lewd conduct in public restrooms.
At Bourbon Pub, they kept playing this loop of Larry Craig saying, I am not gay. I am not gay. And I was like, come on, girl, don't ruin my decadence. I want some videos. I want Barla Jean. I want some Cher. I want some goodness. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna write a song about this, and they're gonna play it here at this video bar next year. And in 2008, they did. Troy and I were talking the whole time, and Troy said, could you bring Candy to New Orleans? And I said, well, that's Will's holiday. Candy stays home. And Troy said, I think you've got an audience with the Ducks. I think they would like something that you bring, and we could do it as a benefit. And Troy was doing stuff with Food for Friends already. I mean, raffles at the Friday welcome party. So we talked, and we coincided Decadence with the release of my EP, Sample This, and I performed at 700 Club, and I was so nervous. I performed on a stripper block. They had to hoist me up. I seriously had to have help to get up onto the go-go block to do the show, and I did 2 sets, and so people had to hoist me down in the middle and then back up for the second part of the show. It went so well, and I got such a warm reception from the Ducks. Sunday services began to grow.
Well, you know, it's our Decadent Ducks fundraiser for New Orleans AIDS Task Force Food for Friends. And everyone comes out, we're gonna have some raffle prizes. I'm gonna sing a slew of my original hits that all 50 of you have downloaded on iTunes.
And we moved from 700 Club to Michael's on the Park.
That staple from those church Bibles is here, and here to hallelujah. Stay. Praise him. I have a feeling I'm going to be saying that a lot tonight.
I showed up. I made it. Happy Decadence. I'm talking to the bears across the bars.
You can't have your kids here. They won't be. That little girl, she's like, give her bees. And Michael goes, earn them.
Did you just throw one to a child?
Rex.
My eyes, and I found such surprise for a land that I never knew. Never ever alone, so I took the road and brought me here closer to you. My never betrayed. So it takes a while. I'll shield you with love and pride. Oh, I'm the queen of the bears. Your Lord takes me higher, the queen of the bears. Yeah, take it to the wire.
Sunday services. Over all of these years, I've cultivated some material. I mean, I had Sample This, I had Sample That, I had the Bear songs, Bear Season, Sweet Scandal, Queen of the Bears. And then I had stuff that came out of my performing for you guys.
Everybody's missing someone. His memories I hold dear. In time the pain will stay inside. I
long to have you near. I had The Man Behind the Curtain, a song. I have a line in the song. Friends to me, family, with you I grow. I tell another story in the show. Well, when I say friends to me, family, I'm talking about you. You guys are my friends. You guys are my family. And literally, with you, I've grown, and I'm telling the stories. And I'm learning how to be a better man and a better woman because of you guys. I'm compiling the best songs of all of these Sunday services into an album called Bittersweet. And I'm so excited. It's been years in the making, and I finally got a new producer. I'm setting up a crowdfunding thing, which you will hear about, trust me. And I am getting ready for a 2019 release. This will be my first full album, singer-songwriter. I like to call it my tapestry. These past several years have been wonderful, and I can't believe that we are at the 10th Sunday services. I mean, I never thought this day would be here. I never thought we'd get past year 3. But here we are. And folks, sit back or stand up and dance, clap, sing along. Whatever you do, don't forget to put that money in that bucket, because we're going to pass that around for Food for Friends, because that's who we're here for. It's time for Sunday services.